welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're a first time viewer, thank you for watching this video, and if you're a return viewer, thank you for coming back. Please go ahead to give this video a thumbs up and also subscribe. And today I'm going to be talking about tips to getting a job in Canada, and it can also help you if you're still in your home country, Nigeria for example, trying to get a job. I haven't been here in a while, mostly because I've been procrastinating, but I'm currently trying to assist a friend in her job hunting process, and I thought I should make a video on the tips that I have. So tip number one, honestly, is apply. When trying to get a job, it's a numbers game. Even in Nigeria, it's not easy to get a job. You have to apply. So the more you apply, the more chances you're going to get an interview, and the more likely you can finally land a job. So keep applying. Do as many applications as possible. It's a numbers game. I can't overstate that. Apply while you're in Nigeria, apply when you land in Canada, keep applying till you eventually succeed and land a job. That's number one tip. And then the second tip ties directly to the first one, which is to ease you and increase the number of applications you can do. And that is selecting about maybe 4 to 5 to 6 job roles that you're really interested in, and making a very good resume for those job roles. For example, you want to pick administrative assistant, data entry, and so on and so forth. And then you pick those 6 job descriptions, make very good resume. Google the Canadian resume template. There are so many that come up. There's one that I like that I could link, that I will link in the description below. And you want to use that template to design very good resumes that fit the jobs that you want to apply to. Remember that you have you have transferable skills from whatever role that you were doing that would fit each job description. And then when you do those very good resumes, the goal of that is so that each time you have to apply, you don't have to spend a lot of time making changes. Because you've spent a huge amount of time making sure that those resumes are very good. Even if you have to make a change, it's very small tweaks. When someone says recruiters advertising, for example, administrative assistant role, it would most likely be very similar across multiple recruiters. So a lot of times you don't have to change your administrative assistant resume. So that's the kind of thing you want to do to make sure you're able to apply even more. And then for roles that are outside those niches or those job descriptions you've decided to stick with, you can then be doing way more tailoring. Applying for jobs takes so much time and effort, honestly. When you have to tailor your resume every single time, you can wake up in the morning, find a job by 9 a.m. and 12 noon you're just designing your cover letter, because it's time consuming. So you want to have very good cover letters and very good resume. I know with cover letters some people are not very keen on making those, but honestly, if you're desperate, go ahead and make that cover letter. Cover letters will almost always need to be edited because you have to change things like the name of the organization. They are the ones that consume the most time when you have a very good resume that you want to stick to. And yeah, so that's very basic advice. Number 2. Number 3 would be review. Now, when you've done a lot of applications for the first 2 weeks, you should get an interview invite by week 3. Even if it's one, you've done say 20, 25, 30, you should be getting at least 2-3 interview invites by week 3 from recruiters that are very fast and they want to recruit very quickly. So when you're not getting invites by week 3, week 4, you should consider honestly changing your resume, reviewing it, giving it to someone who has very good knowledge of what is expected in your resume to review, if you can find anyone. That's very important, because I see a lot of people 2 months in, they're still using the same resume they started using when they landed in Canada 2 months later, and it's not working. They're getting maybe 1 or 2 invites from recruitment agencies. So if it's not working, it's time to review and change and edit. So yeah, there's no point spending time on something that's not working. And yeah, those are honestly my 3 tips for the application stage. So you want to do a huge number of applications as much as possible. I would say at least 5 a day, 5 to 10 a day. You want to pick out specific niches you want to apply to. And then 3, you want to review your applications to make sure they are working. Now, when you start getting invited for interviews, this is a new ball game entirely. If you're new in Canada or you haven't even landed yet, it's a lot you don't know about. There's a lot you're trying to learn, so you have to be very well prepared for your interview. An interview is like an oral exam. You don't want to go in there and fumble. You want to be very well prepared. Definitely, you won't get all the jobs you interview for, because you need the stars to align. You need to prove you can do the job. The recruiter has to be convinced you can do the job. You need to do better than your competitors. You need to relate well with the recruiter, the hiring manager. So there's a lot of work, but there's also a little bit of luck involved. But to increase the chances of that luck happening, you need to be well prepared. I can't overstate that. The things that help you get very, very well prepared is doing a mock interview as much as possible. You want to, if you have someone who is very well experienced with interviews, even if you're not in Canada yet, let them help you do a mock interview so they can tell you what you're doing wrong and what you're doing right. The more interviews you do, the better your interview muscle. That's what I say. So it's always a good thing to get interviewed. You get better at it. If you do 3 interviews, the 4th one, you are an expert. So I would say do a mock interview. It helps you get very well prepared. Research the organization. Go to the organization's website, the organization's Facebook, the organization's LinkedIn. Research your interviewers as much as possible. When you get the interview invite, you're going to see the names of the panel members in the invite, and you want to go and research them. You could get useful information that you could tie in to your answers. And then there are very general questions. Now, when you're not in a very technical role, for example, you're not in software development, you're going to get very general questions like behavioral questions. Tell me a time you did this, tell me a time you did that. The very question that we all know we start with, tell me about yourself, your goals, your weaknesses, and your strength. You want to make sure that you're prepared for those kinds of questions. They're the same in Canada, the same in Nigeria. So you want to get very well prepared. That's part of the preparation process. There are YouTube videos that answer interview questions very well. There are even materials you can download online. But, prepare yourself very well so you can answer your questions better. It's an exam. And so I would say those are the things that help you prepare well. One thing you have to notice is Canadians like small talk. I have started to become a little bit of an expert there. So you want to do better with your small talk. There are videos on YouTube on Canadian small talk, honestly, and you can watch those to help you get better, especially when you haven't landed and you haven't experienced it yet. Hope for the best. It's always nice when you interview when you have a job because you're less desperate, but everyone is not going to have that kind of situation. But you want to be as calm as possible. Hope for the best. Canada is a very polite country, so you want to don't think for sure you have a job when you interview, because you won't be able to tell. For example, if I compare Canada with Nigeria, I'd say Nigerians are very upfront. You can tell when you've done terribly, but when you're interviewing here in Canada, you can't tell until you get offered the job. And sometimes it's not that you did badly, it's just that someone else probably did better. So those are the tips that I would give you for your interview stage. Something I forgot is when it comes to applications, if you're still applying from Nigeria, for example, you want to download Indeed, change location to Canada and start applying. You want to go to LinkedIn and apply there. You can apply on LinkedIn, still apply on Indeed for the same job. Go to the organization's website and also apply there. A very useful tip. And also, when you're applying through Indeed, if you get any exercise that you have to do, make sure you score very well in that exercise, because the recruiter who put it there is going to use it. They can use that to screen a lot of people out. So if you get any exercise, make sure you are doing excellently well in the exercise, or you create a new Indeed profile so you can redo that exercise. That will be my advice to a lot of people out there. Once you've gotten to the interview stage, the next stage is background check. Make sure that your LinkedIn tallies, dot your I's and cross your T's. And after that, it's time to prepare for the job. If it's your first job in Canada, it's always nerve-wracking. You're in a new environment and you want to do as much research as possible, read, watch videos online, and just see how well you can get prepared for the job. A lot of jobs in Canada, if it's not very technical, you wouldn't necessarily be trained. What you will get is a lot of teaching and tutorials while you're being already assigned tasks. So you want to do as much prep as you can before you resume the job to help you settle in faster. But obviously, you're always going to learn a job as time passes. 6 months later, you should be very good at your job. So those are the tips I have. If you have any questions, ask them in the comment section below. Some people use resources when they land. There are settling agencies that you can attach yourself to that will help you get a lot of certifications. And certifications are things that are very useful that you can get online. But as much as possible, you want to be able to communicate your experience in your resume, communicate your value in your resume and your cover letter, and also communicate it physically when you get called for an interview. Yeah, so those are the tips I'll give you. Remember to keep applying. The more you apply, the more your chances of getting called for an interview, and the more interviews you do, the more chances that you will get a job finally. And hopefully you get a very good job when you land, or if you've already been here, that can help you settle faster. And thank you very much for watching this video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.